Alright, yeah, we are back. Welcome back once again, guys. So, the purpose of today's section is basically to set the foundation of our discussion and of our mentorship program. I believe yesterday, the last meeting we had, rather, was where we established the entire process of this mentorship program, the kind of expectation you should have. You understand? But now I'm diving deep into what we are gathering together for, which is about the design, the UX design itself. And then the topic that I'm going to be engaging you with today is about the design principles, design and its principles. And this is basically about the act of purposeful design. So whenever we are creating design, what is design itself, and what are the principles of a good design? You understand? So that's basically what I want to discuss with you today. This is like the basic fundamental of discussion when it comes to design. I believe the people that we have on board are people that are just getting into the world of design. You understand? Probably you guys have prerequisite knowledge of what design is all about, but you are just getting started in the design workspace. So that is why the background is so basic. You understand? This is so basic. This is absolutely beginner level. So if you don't even know what design is, this is what we are about to talk about today. All right. So then I'll proceed. So good or effective design is much more than just how a design look. It is powerful and deliberate purpose that seeks to solve problem, inspire emotion, and enhance experience. When we talk about a good design, it's not just about the facade, it's not about the outlook of the design. Something is looking beautiful and then is a design, you understand? A design should be appealing, yes, that is correct, but more than that, a design should also be functional. That means a design needs to solve a particular problem. So whenever you decide to make a design, there should be a problem there to solve. It could be you are trying to create as simple as creating a website. A website that you are planning to create comes into existence because of solving a particular problem. Advertising a service, or trying to engage a customer and its brand. It could come in form of a website, or probably a logo, a brand logo. You design a logo for a customer. This is also an example of a design, or it could just be a product design. A product design, an example here is the blender that we have here. And then after that we have something, even it can be an architectural design, a building design, which is also an example of a design itself. What we are speaking about exactly today is, I want to explore with you what design really is, and to uncover the principles that a good design should actually have, should carry, you understand? So what is a design? A design is the art and science of creating something with intention and function. I want you to note that, because creating a design is with an intention and a function to solve. It involves an harmonious fusion of creativity, definitely, and then functionality as well, and empathy of the end user. So when we talk about creating a design, it is more of basically designing to problem solve, creating a design to solve a particular problem. It could be definitely for the end user. A design is usually the user's centric design, you understand? A design is produced to solve the problem of particular end users. So this is a design. A design is an art and science of creating something with intention and function. It involves an harmonious fusion of creativity, functionality, and empathy for the end user. Please note the word here that we have here, problem solving. We have two keywords in this definition here: problem solving and end user. When you talk about design, you are talking about problem solving. And whenever you're talking about design, you're talking about the end users of the design. You understand? Whenever the design is being created, a designer always have in mind, the back of the designer mind is the end users who are going to be using that design is creating. It could be as simple as a flyer, it could be as complex as a building. So end users are usually at the back, at the forefront of decisions and actions basically that needs to be taken to create that design. All right, proceeding forward, it starts with understanding the need, creating a design. A design starts with understanding the need and desire of the target audience, and then translate those insights into tangible solutions, right? There's a keyword here, target audience again. Who are the target audience? These are also known as the end users. The end users are the target audience for a particular product, a particular design that is being created. Proceeding forward now, I'll be going to exploring with you the major principles of a good design. When we call something a good design, what are the principles? What are the characteristics of a good design? That whenever you see these characteristics, you can know that this design for sure is a very good one. You understand? So these I'll be explaining one after the other, and then I'll also be showing you visually what I mean by this. The implementation of this I'll be showing you also. So I'll go ahead to my social media. I'll just click on tab here, and I'll quickly go to my social media. I'll go to my account right here. I have a design in mind that can explain this. These are some of the work that I have done, but I have a carousel design here that I think would explain exactly what I'm about to go on with you. So let's go back to the design. One of the first principles of a good design is purpose. Any good design should be purpose driven. Every color you've chosen, your color choice, your typeface, your imagery, the icon set that you decide to use, every design, every decision that you make on a particular design must have a background purpose. There must be a reason for everything that we are seeing on our screen, right? So every good design begins with a clear, well-defined purpose. Understand the problem that needs to be solved is the foundation of the entire design process. A purpose-driven design aligns every decision. Can you get that? A purpose-driven design aligns every decision with the intended outcome. So whenever a design is being created, every decision that you are making on a particular design is due to whatever everything has to work together to convey the problem, to convey the solution you are trying to provide. For example, is what we have here, talking about the slide that has been created here. I created a carousel design that the topic of this discussion is you want true success. Do this. This is the design, and it has like several of them. I have like 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So basically 8 slides that I'll be going through together. And then you can see that now we are talking about success. When we are talking about success, we are talking about part of the characteristics of success. When we are talking about visually is multicolor. You understand, like rainbow. You understand, that's success. Things that shows that you are bright, you are beautiful, you are excelling. You understand? So you can see that we have as bold as you want true success. You can see the typography function here. You want true success. The success is multicolored. You understand? Showing you that there are different variety of success, and there is a decision, not just because I just want to be colorful or because I just want to just use all the color on my color palette. That's why I decided to use all these multicolor. They are careful decisions and reasons, silent reasons behind why I have chosen to do what on this design. For example, apart from the multicolor success that we have there, you can see also the imagery that I choose to use here on this design. You can see that we have an image of a chessboard, the pawn, and then a reflection of the pawn is showing on the wall in the background, and it's showing as a king. You understand? That is telling you that you are at your whatever situation that you are currently in, whatever status that you are currently at, whatever level that you are currently at, you are aiming for a greater good, which is what? The success. The success of a pawn is becoming a king. You understand? Do you get it? So that's basically the concept of every object that you have decided to use in your design should carry and convey the information you are trying to pass across to the users, to the end users. For example, that we have here, you can see you want true success, and then we have the imagery, and then we proceed forward from there. That's talking about purpose-driven design. That's talking about purpose. That's one of the principles of a good design. Another one that we have here is simplicity. There is one clause that we usually use in design, which is less is more. Most of the time, it is not about complexity of a design. It's basically about the simple things that actually makes a design work. Less is more is a guiding principle in design. Simplicity ensures that the message or functionality is conveyed without unnecessary distractions. A clean and uncluttered design ensures user experience and communicates ideas more effectively. For example, a visual representation of that is going forward from here. Now we go forward to explaining more about the topic of this discussion that I have here. And then you can see that we have a write-up. We have a short write-up here. After this write-up, we have an icon. We have a small imagery that shows kind of a level, right? That shows kind of a level and a progressive step. You understand? Showing you that this is not a one-time thing. It's something that you need to take one step at a time. I would have decided to use this entire background for this imagery. You understand? I could have selected an image that I can use on the entire background, but I decided to just pick up a PNG file. Actually, this is actually a full image. I used Photoshop to remove the background and just pick the staircase out. That's just what I needed, and just place here. This conveys the total information that I'm trying to pass across to the readers of this design that I have here. So simplicity is basically narrowing down, making sure that everything that you have on your design, they are useful, and not just you're not just trying to put everything there just to engage this scene. You understand? A design needs to be simplified to the barest minimum. Whatever we are saying is something that we just have to see. You understand? To pass across the information. That's something about simplicity. Simplicity is very, very important in design. We can't overemphasize the fact that doing less, putting less on the screen, and minimalism is actually more whenever it comes to creating a good design. I'll go ahead from here. We have something called consistency as well. Consistency is also very, very important. Consistency is basically repetition. It's basically trying to repeat, show a sense of repetition in your design that can guide the end users that are going to be interacting with that design. That okay, I'm familiar with this. You understand? I'm familiar with this. Imagine on each of the slides that I have on this presentation, I have color green on one, I have color pink on one, I have color yellow on one, I have color green on one. It can work for some designs, you understand, depending on how creative you are. The basic concept of coming up with design and professionalism in design is basically you need to understand the rules first. Understand the rules, and then having understood the rules of design, you can now creatively go around the rules. You understand? Rules are meant to be broken. You understand? You can always make adjustments. Do what is not, do something out of the blues, you understand, and it actually comes out fine because you have understand the basic rules, and then you are just trying to manipulate the rules, you understand, to work in your own favor. If you are able to do that creatively, then whatever you produce is actually a fantastic design. Consistency is another principle of design. Consistency breeds familiarity and trust. Whenever you repeat something, even in human being, in a friend, in a family, people know a kind of characteristic that they associate with you. You understand? That consistency in your attitude, in the way that you respond to things, in the way that they know that, oh, this is how Toby is, this is how Jide is. You understand? That's a sense of consistency. They know how you behave. So it's a sense of familiarity and trust. A good design maintains a consistent visual language, typography, layout throughout a design. Basically, creating a unified and cohesive experience for the user. What I'm basically talking about in design visually is this. Looking back to the main source of this design, you can see after the imagery, you have a dark background there. And then continuing again on the other side of the design is the dark background. And consistently I was able to use just black and white dark background, and that is what we use over and over and over again till the end of the slide. That is what we use over and over again. That's one form of consistency. Consistency can be achieved in different ways. There are different ways you can implement just one rule. Another way we can talk about consistency here is talking about the font. Look at the initial font that we used here. On this slide, I can tell you that the font that I used here is just two. The major font and then the subtext that we have. The subtext that we have here. I know the two fonts that are being used here. The major font for the topic here, and then the subtext that we have, and is subtext. Basically, two font family were what I use on this design. Two font typefaces rather. Two typefaces are what I use here, and then all the remaining one that you just have here is sizes and then weight. Those are the variation that we have here. Looking at this, you can see consistency here. But the right up here is basically plain regular text. Going to the next one, we also have plain regular text, and then for emphasis, you can see that I use again the bold that we have been using earlier on this slide here. Can you see that here? So this is basically trying to maintain consistency. On another slide as well, plain text, bold text, plain text, bold text, no stress, no confusion, no something out of the blues, you understand? Just trying to maintain something. Now, I'll later talk about the other ones that you are seeing in the background here. For example, you can see that I finally use some other icons here. I finally use some other text here actually. So there is, I think, 3 typefaces rather. So I finally use another typeface here, this calling text here, just a subsidiary text below here. And then talking about consistency, is basically trying to maintain a sense of regularity in your design. Whenever I'm going to the next slide, I'm not surprised. I'm not caught off guard on your design. I believe, okay, I have a sense of what I've been coming up with. You understand? Not that I open here is color green, I open here is color blue. There are ways you can actually do that and it will work fine. You understand? But it has to be done creatively. You understand? There are designs that might actually require you, or that you might actually want to be creative with it and then basically do that. So, but basically, consistency is also a principle of design that needs to be what? Taken into consideration whenever you want to create a fantastic design. And you can see that consistency in what? Visual language. There's something called visual language. We'll dive deep into that again in our subsequent classes. Also typography. Remember typography, which is what we started with. And also layout. Layout is also another thing we'll be discussing as well. Layout is also, we need to be consistent in our layout as well. And then creating a user experience basically in our design where everything that we are doing breeds familiarity and trust. Another principle of a good design is balance. Balance in design refers to the even distribution of visual elements. It helps create a sense of stability, harmony in your design. Achieving the right balance between various design elements ensures that your design feels organized and visually appealing. When you look at this design that you are looking at, even this writer that is currently on your screen, look at the first text, balance, and then the subtext below it. You understand? And then we have some simple micro text of 02, and then the other one on the right side, right top corner right, which is the mentorship section. You can see that there is a sense of balance. There is a sense of balance in this design. To dive more deep into that, I'll go ahead into this design that I have here. You can see that looking at this design, there is a sense of balance. Everything seems to be organized in a way. Are you with me? Everything seems to be organized in a way. So it's basically trying to what? Distribute your designs, distribute your text, putting a sense of visual weight. There's something called visual weight, and it's basically whenever you are creating a design, trying to take every text and every element of your design like a box. So let's try, like this design that we have here, we have like a box. Let's assume that we have a box around here. We have another small box around here. We have a small box around here, basically. We have a smaller box, smaller chunks of boxes below here. Can you see that? All these things, you can assume, you can just see them as a box. And looking at those boxes in total together, they kind of form a visual weight where everything seems to be balanced and regular. You understand? It gives you a sense of is appealing. You understand? The design is visually appealing, and there is a sense of harmony in your design. So this theories along the other design that we have here is here we can see a sense of stability here, a sense of harmony on this design. Everything is balanced. We can see that everything is quite balanced here as well. Everything is quite organized and balanced here as well. The same way, even when we don't have a lot of text, there's a way it was and they were being arranged, and you can see that we have a sense of balance, right? You need to have, or should I say, you need to what? Find a way to. You need to have high for a good design. Whenever you see a good design, you need to know what is working and what's not. While you are creating the design itself, sometimes some things will just throw you off and be like, you need to have a sense. It's a taste, you understand? You need to have a taste for design, you understand? Whenever you see a design, you should know when it's working and when it's not. And this actually comes with experience. This actually comes with constantly exposing yourself to possibilities in design, constantly exposing yourself to doing research and seeing how pros, designers have been doing it, you understand? Exposing yourself to different design will give you a sense of what design should look like, right? So that's basically that about that. I'll go ahead to proceed forward again. Apart from balance, which helps our design to be visually appealing, another principle that I would like to talk about is the hierarchy. Hierarchy is basically showing in your design, telling the viewer, people that are going through your design, guiding their face, guiding their vision on your design. That means you are telling the user what to see first, the next thing to see, a sense of showing priority. That's basically hierarchy. You can show priority. You can have a sense of priority in your design. What you want them to see first? What you want them to interact with first? Looking at the design that we have here, as simple as this design that we have here, the hierarchy there is the first text that you are going to be noticing is this hierarchy text. That's like number one. The next thing you'll be noticing is the subtext that describes what hierarchy is all about. The write-up that we have here. And it says here, a good design uses hierarchy to guide the user's attention to the most important element on the design. We can implement hierarchy by using size, object sizes. You can do it by object colors. You can do that by position strategically. You can also do that by prioritizing. You can basically try to prioritize how your information is being digested by the user using hierarchy. An example of that is what we have here. Looking at what I have here from the main text, you can see that there is a sense of hierarchy. You're looking at this screen, this first screen itself. The first thing you are going to notice is this. You want true success, then you can find do this beside here. That is the first thing you are going to see. Then the next thing you are going to see is the background image. After the background image, then you can notice do this. Looking on the next slide, you can see the first thing you're going to notice is basically this image of staircase. This wooden stairs that we have here is what you're going to notice first, and then probably now you want to read through the text, right? You can see there's a sense of hierarchy. Now you can see the first thing you will notice here is I am here to share the three most important ones with you. That's what you will notice first. The last thing you will notice is what I have graded out here. Are you ready? Are you with me? So this is the sense of hierarchy, prioritizing, guiding the viewer's eye. You see talk less first, and then you can read what is below. You see eat less first, and then you can read what is below. Basically, you see sleep less first before you read what is below. That's like guiding the viewer's eye as they are going through your design. The first thing you are going to notice here is my face, and then this write-up that I have alongside. Are you with me? So this is basically using a sense of hierarchy in your design to guide the user's face to what they need to see first in your design. So that's hierarchy, which is another important, very, very important principle of a design. We'll be diving more deep into this in further classes. Also, contrast. Contrast is basically black and white. Contrast is basically trying to show a sense of discrepancy, differences between the element of your design. Contrast has visual interest and helps elements stand out. Like I said, black and white. Clear contrast, you understand? Black and white. You can't miss it. When you see white, you know this is white. When you see black, you know this is black. Clear contrast is effective to whenever you use a contrast. Contrast can also be implemented using any visual element that you have on your design. You can implement contrast using your text. You can implement contrast using your color. You can implement contrast using the shape that you create. Basically, you are trying to lay emphasis on some part of your design. For example of that in our design is this. You can see a sense of emphasis that you need to see is that success that we have in the beginning. I used color here. I didn't use text. All of them, you can see you want true success. They are the same font type. They are the same font size actually. They carry the same font. They are the same typeface. They are the same font size. But the contrast that I use there is the color. Is the color contrast, which is something that is highlighted right here. You can see that we have color contrast here, which is what is being implemented here. The same thing goes for the second to the last slide, where we have the contrast here. You see, the same thing talking about also consistency. The success that we have in the first place, you know, that is multicolored in the first slide. It's actually multicolored. That is why even on the last slide, I made sure that the success that we are seeing there is also multicolored. I could have turned it into white, then I've lose a sense of consistency in my design. Because the first success that we saw earlier was multicolored rainbow-like, right? The last success that we have on the list also is multicolored. A sense of what? Consistency. And also contrast is being emphasized using this multicolored success that we have here. So contrast cannot be overemphasized. This is also a very important principle in our design because it helps to create a sense of readability, and then the users, the readers, the users of your product, of your designs, the end users get to have a clear understanding of what is important and what is less important, a sense of what stands out from the rest, which is what, and given this slide that we are looking at, contrast and then the subtext, you can see we have a sense of what? A sense of contrast between this design that we have here. We do that in sense of sizes here. Looking at this slide, you can see the contrast is very bold, thick font. We have the subtext in light font, regular, and then you can see the subtext sizes, contrast in terms of sizes. These are the what micro text that we have on top here. This is implementing the principle of what? Contrast in our design. Going forward, I also have another one known as what? Emphasis. Whenever you want to create emphasis in your design, emphasis is also a very key element in a design, which helps to draw attention. You forcefully draw the attention of your users, of your end users, to focus on something. That is when you lay emphasis on the design. It allows designers to highlight essential information and guide users through a desired path. Emphasis is also very important. You can see you'll be feeling like it's a different word that actually means the same thing. The same thing. You can say that because most of these are actually very, very interrelated. Talking about emphasis, talking about contrast, they are very, very interrelated because contrast, the main purpose of contrast is to also create a difference between the two, right? To differentiate two object design elements. Emphasis is also to now guide the user eye to what you want them to see. Like I mentioned earlier, I'll be using my design here to explain the concept of emphasis as well. To explain emphasis, I didn't just have, there's a regular font of this text that will not be italic like this, but I decided to use italic to emphasize what I'm about to say. A sense of motion is being shown here, right? A sense of what? Motion is being shown. You want success? I could have used normal, regular, bold text without using the italic font. But the concept behind the italic font is to show a sense of motion, right? A sense of motion. You can see that also the imagery that we have in the background, which is the pond,
Becoming a king, the shadow that we have casted in the background also requires a sense of what? Motion. A sense of what? Motion as well. So you can see this image and text are carefully chosen to guide the user's eye into what we are about to discuss. Also, looking at the stages and staircase that we have here, also implement and also emphasize the sense of what? Motion in this design. You have to move from one stage to the next stage, from one stage to the next stage before you now finally get to the top where you actually desire, which is the success that you are looking for. There is a sense of what? Motion in the design. Going forward, we also see that in the design that we have here, apart from the staircase, subsequently in our design, you can see that I continue to emphasize my design using the what? The italic text. Even for the smaller one, you can see this also is italicized. Consistency and what? Emphasis. Italicized, consistency and what? Emphasis. We have italicized here. Consistency and also emphasis is being what? Just trying to lay emphasis on our design. Are you with me? So this is basically implementing that same key and core principle of our design, which is what? Laying emphasis on our design element. Another one that is there is what? It's called alignment. Oh, alignment. Alignment is very, very important. I can't make you understand this even more. Alignment is basically the key. Alignment will mess you up. It can make or break your design. That's what alignment is all about. It can make or break your design. As simple as this slide that you're currently looking at, the one that you're currently looking at, where we have the alignment text and the explanation of what alignment is. Alignment is being implemented on this design, and you see that even as small as little as intricate alignment can be, if it is not well done, it can mess your design up. For example, look at the 02 that we have here, the micro text that we have here. If you are able to carry a ruler and measure precisely, you will see that this 02, the starting point here, the same thing is where we have the edge is also where the alignment also starts from, is where we also have the subtext start from, a sense of what? Alignment in our design. And if you were to go forward to also see the spacing that we have right in front of 02, this small space that we have here, if you go to measure this side as well, it's also precisely the same thing. The spacing that we have on top here is also the same thing that we have on top here, which is talking about alignment. Let me go to the design that I was using for our guide before. When we talk about alignment has to be what? Precise. You need to be intentional about alignment. You can't play around alignment. If you decide not to align your design properly, that means you are trying to be creative with it. And if you are unable to use it, if you are unable to break the rule of alignment creatively, you will just finally you see that the end product of your design is nonsense. It will not be useful. It will just be messy. You understand? Alignment is so critical in your design. Looking at where we have the icon that we have here that shows that this is currently 2022. This design was created 2022, and then looking down from there, you can see that that same direction is where we have other text aligned to. Even going down to the micro text that we have below here, a sense of what? Alignment. Now to show you what alignment can actually be, talking about the Green Illustration Studio here, talking about our social media platform for Insta, Facebook, and then YouTube. Green Illustration Studio, measuring that down, you see that the arrow edge that we have here also aligns properly with the text that we have here. Alignment is very, very important. Alignment is very, very important. If you are breaking the rule of alignment, it has to be intentional. You can't just do it by mistake, by guesswork. You will mess your design up. The same thing you can see alignment is also being done here, which is what? Consistently being followed is a rule that you cannot ignore. Consistently being followed. The same thing goes for everything that is here. Can you see that? Consistently being followed. That is talking about what? Alignment. Alignment is very, very important. So that's alignment is also very, very important, which is what actually guides and what gives your design a kind of structure. It gives your design a kind of structure that everything is well placed and well organized. That is talking about alignment. To the last space, look at the save this for later, this section here. It also aligns with because now we don't have the arrow anymore. You know that we don't have the arrow anymore. It also aligns precisely to the side of this green illustration studio. Alignment is very, very important. Like I said earlier, it can break or make your design. So please, you cannot ignore alignment in your design. If you are choosing to ignore alignment, that means you are creatively trying to ignore it, and it can also, it will not affect your design, and you can still creatively communicate your design goals and need. That's talking about alignment. Proper alignment ensures a sense of order and cohesiveness in design. Elements that are visually connected through alignment connect more pleasing and organized composition. And talking about alignment, talking about grid, creating grid as well. A grid system is also very, very important. When we start creating our websites, when we start creating our visual designs, we'll see us implementing the principle of alignment. It's very, very important on every stage of our design. Going forward, the last but not the least is user-centric. Whatever we call design is solving a particular problem, and whatever problem the design is solving belongs to a particular set of audience that I call users, right? These users' needs and preferences should be the drive of the design that we are creating in the first place. A user-centric approach involves empathy. User experience design is basically empathy. Empathy, usability testing, and continuous feedback, resulting in design that resonates and cater to the audience. User-centric design is design. These are designs that actually stand the test of time. Because whenever you want to create a design, you start first. The first stage of creating design is usually research, and there are different types of research that you create. You research the product you are trying to create. There are market research that you do. You do user research as well to see. You do research with the users to confirm what are the pain points of your design. After creating a mobile application, for example, after creating, let's say, UBA decides to create a mobile application for their customers. After creating the application, they don't just hang the shirt and be like, we have created the application, that's all, and that's all about the application. There's their team behind that continuously monitor. They go back to the users to confirm, are we still solving your problem? Is this software still working right? What are the things that you need? That is why we talk about reviews. Reviews are very, very important. When you go to your Play Store, your Apple Store, you see that there are user reviews. Whenever you download an application, users go there to say, this application is very, very fantastic. I was able to do so and so. And if there are challenges, if there are pain points of the customer, you also see that on the user's review as well. When they tell you that this application is total nonsense, this game is total nonsense, it cannot connect, and then you get to hear the customer pain points. So whenever you are trying to create your own solution, your own design, you try to create, you have a background knowledge of what the user's pain points are and concerns are, and then you try to design a particular solution that caters to those needs and concerns of the user. That's user-centricity. So user-centricity actually is what makes your design valuable across time, that gives your design that longevity, that makes it usable and functional. So that's basically talking about what user-centric design. In conclusion, what I'm trying to say today about design, what design really is, and the principles of design, is basically design is a purposeful problem-solving act that revolves around understanding, empathy, and creativity. The principle of a good design serves as guiding light and helping designer to craft experience that not only meets the objective but also enrich the lives of who interact with these creations and designs. So it's as simple. This cut across designs from product designs. It's cut across to website design. It's cut across to architectural design, building design, even your bronchial design, everything. Even talking about your animation design as well. There are these creative concerns that carries a lot of empathy, and then using a sense of creativity to create and produce this design that we all have. That's my time, guys. If you have any question, you can always reach out to me. Please try to support the YouTube channel. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the notification icon as well, so that you are informed. You are given a notification whenever we drop content like this that you enjoy so much. That's my time. I'll be leaving you guys now. That's basically the conclusion of my discussion with you today. So go ahead, follow me on Instagram, and then also support us on our YouTube channel. And then try to drop comments if you have any comment on the videos. If it was impactful, try to let us know your views. We'll always be in the background to review them all and respond to each and every one of them. All right, that's my time here. Cheers.